Good morning and welcome back to another CM Travels video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be testing out this beautiful Z6 II with the 50mm f1.2 lens. If you're interested more in looking at just at the 1.2 lens, I've put up a video. You can check that link there. Today is all going to be about the Z6 II. The last video I did versus the Z6 I was really focused on auto speed and autofocus. Today is going to be looking at a couple of the other features that the Z6 II has over the Z6 I. What the Z6 II now allows, because it has the dual card slots, the SD card slot, and of course the CF or the XQD card slot, is that you get 3 times much more buffer. I think it's 120 odd frames in RAW that you can take before the buffer starts to kick in. It's roughly 6 to 7, maybe 8 seconds before you can then start taking photographs again, which is a big improvement from the Z1. Now this can be a big game changer for those of you who are really looking at progressing into the mirrorless world. The Z6 I only had the XQD card slot, and that meant that you couldn't back up files. So if you were running things like weddings or any photography really that you really can't afford to have one of the card slots or one of the cards fail, this is a really nice feature that they've added in. The second really nice point is that they've come out now with the MDN11 battery grip. You know, you've really got superb ergonomics because of the way that you have the dial on this side, you have a dial here, you have a function button here at the top as well, and with the big 1.2 lenses series that I think will be coming out fairly shortly, is that you have much more stability when it comes to ergonomics, and I spoke a lot about that when I was reviewing this lens, particularly with the mirrorless setup. And that's a huge benefit that you get with the Z2s that you don't have with the Z1, that you now have a fully functional battery grip. You can hot shoe it and you can charge it with a USB-C cable, so you don't even have to worry about cold days like we're having now. While it's a beautiful day, we've had lots of snow here in Switzerland, so I've been itching to get out and really test out the Z6 II rather. The other really nice feature that you get is a new autofocus zones. So you can have autofocus face and eye detection, or animal eye detection. You can limit this to a wide area, they've called it. So when would you use this? Quite right. And here's an example. You're in a room full of people and you've got this beautiful 1.2 50mm lens on, and you've picked out the right, at a wedding scenario, you're in the ceremony and you have the bride or you have the groom walking down the aisle. You can select the area that you want the faces to detect it in, and then boom, you snap away. Instead of having the whole area that's detecting faces and seeing everyone's face and keeps changing and moving, you can select the area specifically to what you want it to do. Compared to the Sony the A7 III, which is an older version, and the Canon equivalent, the R6, this is less expensive. It doesn't have the overheating, and compared to the Canon. And with the Sony, it's an older system. I think when the Sony come out with the A7 IV, then you're going to be probably more competition. So the technology in the Z6 II is slightly better at the moment than the Sony. The other important thing as well, I mean, if you're a pet or wildlife photographer and let's say for example you're taking pictures of dogs at a dog school, again you can select which area you want the eye detection or face detection or animal tracking detection to be in, put that where or which dog you want it to be focusing on, and then bang, you have that. So you can have all of your other subjects nice and bokeh, contrast smooth, and have your subject popping out. In a wildlife setting, you can have a pride of lions, you have a number of cubs perhaps, or adults that are playing, or ones that are at a kill or something like that, and you think, okay, my best composition is to have this cub that's playing with another cub, the others perhaps might be sleeping. You think, okay, I don't want the animal tracking to pick up the other animals or the other animal faces, I just want to tier specifically to this interaction that's happening, which is a really nice benefit and added addition to that. But what we also have with this dual processor is that the updates are going to be much better into the future. And of course the big one for videographers is of course the 4K 60 frames a second. There will be a DX, I think the DX crop on that, but it's a nice feature to have anyway. Another thing about the Z6 II compared to the rivals I was talking about earlier is that of the screen. Now you can have the screen flipped open like this, and what this allows that even if I go over the sensor here, the screen stays on, which is a really nice addition to the Z6 II. It doesn't however have the twist and flip around, so any recording that you want to do of yourself, you'll have to purchase an external recorder or display screen in order to do that. There's also been a lot of talk about the Canon R6 overheating a lot. As of me talking to you right now, I've had absolutely no problem with overheating with the Z6 II. Not that this is paid advertising by Nikon, I'm just reviewing the gear and giving you my honest opinion. And the only time it's ever stopped recording is when I run out of battery, which I've had the lovely opportunity of using the battery grip now, and that really, very rarely happens. As well, as I mentioned before, you can use the USB-C charger to keep this thing going forever and ever. I suppose in essence, many of the things that the Z6 II has perhaps are more aimed at a professional photographer. But having said that, if you are looking to jump into the mirrorless world, the battery grip, the ergonomics of the Z6 II, the features of the dual card slots, the fact that they'll be bringing a 4K 60 frames per second video element into it. The second factor is also the video zoom. Those of you who are videographers, you can reverse the zoom focus, which apparently is a big deal for videographers, which is really nice that they've added in for it. The fact that it's not overheating, the fact that you can have now the battery grip to have longer battery life. I know for me in this cold weather, the batteries aren't always that good. They also have a 15C new battery, which really has long lasting. And as I said before, the only thing that stopped me videoing is going over an hour 40, hour 50, then the battery needs to be replaced. But the Z6 II has a few features that some of us can't do without. Meaning that it's a must to get. But here I am sitting in the forest. I'm still not totally taken back by the twos, but from my experience with all of the mirrorless, or not all of the mirrorless, with the Nikon mirrorless system, is that they are better than the DSLRs, mainly because of those video features. The stills colors are fantastic. The photographs I've been taking this morning, we've finally had some lovely light, which has got me outside and taking some photographs again. I have been exploring some night photography with the Nikon Noct 0.54 58mm f/0.95. You can see that video here. But I'm really enjoying the Z6 II, particularly with the battery grip now, considering I've been using the 50mm f1.2, which you can see is a really huge lens on a very small body if you don't have the battery grip. But it's great now because I think that the second-hand market has come to life. I know personally for me here in Switzerland, it looks like the price roughly of a Z6 I body, it's about 1,900 to 1,000 francs, and if you're really lucky you can get one with an XQD card and even the 24 to 70 f4S lens, which is absolutely spectacular. Yes, it's not the 1.2, yes, it's not the 1.8 series primes, but for capturing your holidays, for capturing your friends, the f4 is really, really smooth. And f4 realistically will get you a nice full face, everything in focus. It's that depth of field is not so great that you don't have too much out of focus, and the f4 still has nice bokeh. So for me, I'm not gonna lie to you that the Z6 II is more appealing than the Z6 I. However, if the means are not there and you would like to still get into the mirrorless world, the Z6 I is great. It just doesn't have the dual card slots. It just doesn't have the face and eye detection in a wide autofocus area, which is quite nice, particularly for those of you trying to select certain faces in your pictures. And I'm one of those people as well. But you can get around that. Of course, you can put on another focus mode, which just picks out the smaller square, and then you have that. So while that's great for stills, it does not help you in a video context. And this is a real hybrid, I think, into that video world for us stills photographers, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. If you've liked the content today, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And if you're interested to see more from me, from CN Travels, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, the little red box. That helps us out big time. If you want to learn about amazing travel and wildlife trips around the world, go ahead and check our link in the description below. We also have amazing t-shirt designs with our logos on them. You can see the links down below. And once again, thank you so much for joining me. See you in the next one.